You're watching CNN and this is Connect the World with me, Lynda Kinkade. Welcome back. Well, let's return now to the 82 schoolgirls released by Boko Haram. The Nigerian government negotiated with the terror group for the girls' freedom. They were among 276 girls kidnapped from their school 3 years ago. More than 100 of those girls are still missing. Well, joining us now is Bukky Shonibare. She's with the Bring Back Our Girls campaign and founder of Girl Child Africa, and she joins us from Abuja. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
This is a huge relief. 82 girls are finally released. Give us a sense of your reaction and what can you tell us about how this came about?
This is a very exciting development. It's a very good news for us, having waited for over 3 years. This news is coming 3 years, 3 weeks, and 1 day since their abduction. And for us, it means that 82 more girls have been taken away from their abductors, and 82 more girls will begin the process of their rehabilitation and resocialization. So this news, which came as a result of negotiation, which was brokered by the Red Cross, the Swiss government, the Nigerian military, is indeed a very good news.
These girls, as I mentioned, you said missing for over 3 years. Hard to imagine the heartache their families have been experiencing. Many still don't know whether their daughters are on the official government list, a part of this group that have been released. Have you spoken to any of the families?
We have some members of the Chibok family and some relatives of the girls who are also part of the Bring Back Our Girls movement, who we have spoken to, who have confirmed that indeed 82 of our girls have been brought back and they are currently in Abuja. Some of the parents are agitating, they are waiting, especially those who have been campaigning and also waiting for their children to come back. We've been speaking with them, and there is a lot of agitation to ensure that their girls are also on the list of the 82 that have come back.
Give us a sense of the condition of the girls that have been released, their state of mind, their health. How are they doing?
If we look at the 24 that have been released and how they came back and the news and the information and what we saw with them, some of them came back with children. It means they must have been sexually abused, of course, without their consent. That is horrifying. It means that we've seen wounds on some of them. We've seen some of them dealing with mental, emotional, psychological trauma of what has happened to them. And with the 82 that have returned, one of those who have been involved in this discussion, Shehu Sani specifically, had also talked about how one of the girls was found using crutches, another one had some very serious injuries on her. And that gives a pointer to exactly what these girls must have been going through in the last 3 years. It puts on the table the need for a very holistic rehabilitation support, which include a very broad health care and psychosocial support so they can begin to regain their lives.
And of course, these girls were taken from their school and they've missed out on an education for the last 3 years as well.
Yes. I mean, if we look at how education has been endangered in the Northeast, this is coming at a time when the figure from the Northeast was like 10.5 million of children in Nigeria that are out of school, majority of whom are from the Northeast. Now, this abduction also is a direct effect on education, not just in Nigeria, but particularly in their Northeast. So taking them away from their family, from their friends, from where they used to know as home, from livelihood, from sanity generally, from education, from giving them a better future, it just gives an idea of what they could have been going through. It tells us that there is a lot of work that we need to do to ensure that their full recovery and their full rehabilitation.
Now, Bukky, these girls are expected to stay in government care for some time in the capital, which is about more than 500 kilometres from Chibok, from their families. The girls that were released in October, we know that they are still in government care or detention, as some aid agencies call it. Why do they have to stay in government care for so long, and what are their families saying about that?
For a lot of the families, it's been very challenging for them, especially as most of them are unable to have access to their children. Some of them have had to complain about having to wait for so long or not seeing them at all. One would expect that the whole process of rehabilitation will be hastened and will be fastened if they can do this alongside their parents, their relatives, and their families. The question of Chibok as a place for such is some sort of questionable. And that leads us to what the Bring Back Our Girls has been saying, that it is imperative for us to know exactly what structure is being followed in their full rehabilitation. How long do they have to go through the security briefing? How long do they have to go through the healthcare support? When would their education start? What else are they putting in place to ensure their full rehabilitation? So yes, a lot of them have complained, but we are hoping, and which was why we were talking about it, that we expect that the 24 that have returned are the test as to the exact readiness structure and the effective system and mechanism that have been put in place, which would, of course, lead into how the remaining would be treated when they come back in large scale, as we are seeing now.
Absolutely. Okay, Bukky, Shonibare, we'll have to leave it there, but our thoughts are still with the 113 girls that are still missing, and we wish you all the best as you continue to work for their freedom. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're watching CNN. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.